लेट्स गो शुरू हो रहा है शुरू हो रहा है। यही के लिए तो वेट कर रहा था। 5 दिन से वेट कर रहा हूँ यार ये मैच देखने के लिए। स्टार्ट कब होगा कब होगा। फाइनली आज स्टार्ट हो गया गाइस। आवाज़ आ रही है ना गाइस परफेक्ट। मेरी मेरी आवाज़ ठीक आ रही है ना। बताओ यार। अरे ये चच्चा भी खेलेंगे क्या। ये चच्चा कौन सी टीम से है गाइस जरा बताना। एनिमेशन तो है गाइस एनिमेशन तो है। जोगुमा आ गया जोगुमो। जमकिन आज तबीयत थोड़ी बुरी है इसलिए आवाज ऐसा लग रहा है मेरा। वाइटलिटी की भी इस बार बहुत बढ़िया है और G2 तो आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स खेल रही है इस बार। मज़ा आ गया G2 को देख के इस बार। सेंटिनल इस बार ठीक ठाक खेली है उतना उतना परफेक्ट नहीं खेल पाई है। बट MIBR को देखना था यार आसपास को देखना था। T1 ने भी बढ़िया खेला इस बार। मीटियोर बस भाई खतरनाक। चलिए
วันนี้นะครับก็เป็นไงบ้างรู้สึกไงบ้างชาวไทยทุกคน
भाई नीचे सबटाइटल देते तो बढ़िया रहता है समझ में तो आ नहीं रहा।
ผมอิดนะครับก็จะรับหน้าที่เป็นพิธีกรของทุกคนในรายการแข่งครั้งนี้นะครับเราเจอกันยาวๆอย่างแน่นอนก็ถือว่าเป็นรายการแข่งที่ใหญ่มากๆของประเทศไทยอีกหนึ่งงานเลยทีเดียวนะครับผมที่รวบรวม8ทีมจากท็อปที่สุดของโลกนะครับเพื่อมาประชันกันในการแข่งครั้งนี้นะครับผม and hello ladies and gentlemen watching back at home watching in the stadium wherever you are, I'm Sarah, and I'll be your host for this event for the next 2 weeks.
Sarah.
And trust me, man, this time, like
Okay.
the teams, top 8 teams, coming from all over the world, for the Valorant qualifiers, are able to come here to fight, to compete in one of the biggest international stadiums in Thailand. And of course, let me give a round of applause to all the teams. Apologize there. I'm just super excited to be here, being in the middle of all the Thai fans, all the fans from all over the world as well. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me attempt, okay, to welcome all of you to the local name of this incredible city. Welcome to Masters กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทราอยุธยามหาดิลกพบรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรัมย์อุดมราชนิเวศน์หาสถานอมรพิมานเอาตาลสถิตสกทิตยะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์โอเคครับขอบคุณมากครับผม Thank you everybody for all the support. I really needed that, but yes, that is the full name. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. I believe that everybody is super excited to watch the games already. So let's do this one more time together.
बहुत टाइम
Make
से
it
बैठे
short,
हैं
make it
जल्दी
simple.
स्टार्ट करो
Let's do it officially. Ladies and gentlemen,
स्टार्ट करो
welcome to Masters Bangkok.
अरे हटो भाई कौन सामने खड़ा है बहुत भीड़ है यार इस बार स्टेडियम बुक नहीं किया शायद ग्राउंड में ही काम चला गया ऊपर तो दिख नहीं रहे सारे नीचे ही दिख रहे हैं
Welcome to Masters Bangkok. Indeed, both of these teams had a bit of a shaky start, but they are here for a reason. EDG still to see if they are the best team in the world, and Team Liquid to prove everybody else wrong. But Kakuka, you mentioned earlier the map vetoes are going to be super important. So talk me through why.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're
ठीक है
just gonna
टीम
go straight
लिक्विड
onto it. Everything's displayed.
स्प्लिट
Team Liquid
पर्ल
keeping their
डिसाइडर
program
बाइंड
safe goes for EDG.
ठीक है
Going on
ठीक
to
है
split as the first map. EDG decided to go onto Pearl. Makes a lot of sense. Team Liquid a little bit wacky, still has not won it. But I wonder if Team Liquid is comfortable enough in this split, and especially not having that much tape onto EDG. Just not much.
Yeah, it is also really interesting. You mentioned this earlier, Yinsu. The Chinese teams had 30 whole days off from when they qualified this tournament, now playing their first match in Masters Bangkok. So a lot of chances for EDG to iterate, to come out with
प्रेडिक्ट
something
हम
new. That's
करेंगे
an advantage that Liquid does not have.
कहाँ
They
है
do not,
प्रेडिक्ट
but I do think the advantage they have here is forcing EDG to pick the pearl. I think this is a trap. We've seen Liquid do this before when they leave Lotus open and they looked insane on it. So I think EDG have to be careful because for split, as we talk about this map, I will be very, very surprised. Just, you know, even with the break, can take
हम
into consideration that
करेंगे
EDG can come out with
टीम
something
लिक्विड
better
अच्छा
than
है यार
Yeah, I mean, Liquid had looked really good. They were 3-0 in EMEA on this one. I love the look they were showing with this double dive, raise your own composition on split, and I'm interested to see them go back into
हम
that.
थोड़ा
He
एक
was going to be
बार
amazing having his debut just being on the duelist. What is
देखते
But
हैं
people are gonna be so confused. They're like,
हमारा
"You're a
प्रेडिक्शन
Wolfsdog, he's
कैसा
an
जाता है
overplayer
guys
now. Why is he playing Raze?"
It
It's
is a weird
flexible,
map.
okay? He can do it all. You know, if we're going to talk about everybody playing duelist, just rock T1 already on the stage. But especially for this split, as I was mentioning, there is not a lot of tape on EDG. And also, very
आपके क्या predictions
the
है
team
guys
that
chat
they
में
had
लिख दो
was playing against a team that was
तुम
running
लोग
the
के
jet
predictions
back,
chat
and
में
they were
चाहिए अपने
struggling
को
a lot getting onto the site when I was got reviewing this, and I understand that they were taking more time than they usually do.
Yeah, I'm interested too. EDG plays in a way not a lot of the EMEA teams do. They still have the
रेडी
neon,
बहुत
they
बढ़िया
still
है
have
यार
their
बट
very
इस
unique
बार टीम
style.
लिक्विड
They're
बहुत
going to the
बढ़िया
breach
खेली है
Keho here to start things off.
Yeah, exactly. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't a Simon playing the Deco here previously. It was was something about him that I didn't quite like, and that he was not really proactive with the utility. So many things that you can do with Tejo, and he was much more reactive.
They were playing the Teo Sky last time. I think this comp makes a lot more sense. You have a ton of utility to combine, set Kung Kung up for success on that Jet. When we swap the defense, he's going to be an absolute menace with the off as well.
Yeah, and I want everybody to remember what Nats used to do on this map. You have that in your head. He still does it. Nothing has changed.
Absolutely
and EDG should know.
What a perfect head-to-head, too. Him against Chichu, the same role on the lurk to start off on Split, getting to see those guys play against each other once again.
I want to see the explanation onto why the Jet instead of the Raze. I like the trade denial here. Both of the teams also playing without a Sentinel, right? They are going to rely more on Chichu and Nats to just have that control over middle. I think that is going to be one of the key areas of the map.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. And it sounds like the crowd cannot wait to see it either. So let's jump into this game and welcome your casters for this matchup. It is Sideshow and Bren.
Absolutely, and we've got an
जल्दी
absolute
start
banger
करो
here.
यार,
Opening
कितना
match
बात
of the
करोगे?
first international event of our year, of our calendar here in Bangkok. EDG reigning champions going up against Team Liquid, who've been on a bit of a heater. Couldn't quite stick the landing in terms of that regional performance, but they made a hell of a go of it.
They certainly did. Team Liquid have already taken out one of our last year's champs finalists to make it here. They destroyed Heretics 3-0, and now here's another one of these champs finalists that Team Liquid has an
मेरे
opportunity
same
to
mouse,
take
मेरा
out.
भी same mouse,
Split
खाली
up
color
the
अलग
map
है.
to open things up. We know what to expect from Liquid. One of the big questions about EDG and Trace throughout this tournament is going to be how effectively have they used their break. They had
ये
over 2
Jimkin
weeks extra to prep before Bangkok, but they'll have used some of that
ADG
to
क्या?
take a bit of a
ठीक
holiday
है
break, because
हर्ष भाई,
Trace
ADG
here-
चलो ADG देखते हैं.
Here we can already see that EDG
जीतने के
returned
चांसेस
their
तो ED के
position.
बहुत ज़्यादा है
They'll
यार
have the
ADG
ability
के.
to anti-Team
ADG
Liquid a bit more
जीतने तो
heavily.
चाहिए.
By the look of
देखते
things,
हैं, बट
Liquid's
इस बार
pulling out the same
लिक्विड भी
defensive
अच्छा खेल
system
रही है यार. हेरेटिक्स को बहुत गंदी तरीके से हराया लिक्विड ने. देखते हैं.
where they play B for full retake, a flood defense over towards A with that teleport so that Camo can get back and quad fighting in mid. Have EDG been watching the tape?
Let's find out, we'll see. Don't shy away from it whatsoever. Instead, Kangkang's going to be going straight up through a ram. Now, he's alone when this is happening, and the fight is kicking off into
No,
mid.
they have not watched the tape.
Cameo ने
Simon
मार
is
दिया
not ready for that.
Simon
He's
को.
just out in mid with the spike.
Donated, yet still the right click in the hands of Kangkang. He picks up the upgrade, but he's going to be
Khastam.
cleaned up. This is what Team Liquid are good at. Comes down to that discipline. They've honed it, they've refined it. Still, openings could be found. It's a 2v3, and it's going to be a difficult one at that.
I mean, how on earth do you recover this spike?
हाँ वो
Chichu's
तो मारा था,
to take
बट
points.
थोड़े से हार
It's a
गई
bait and switch setup here as
पिछली
well.
बार का
Kiko has
हेरेटिक्स.
been playing
थोड़े
some
थोड़े
incredible
मतलब
Valorant so far in EMEA games.
बहुत क्लोज गया था मैच.
Fails, Camo's played in.
हाँ देखते हैं.
The micro plays
हाँ
the
देखते
team
हैं,
go
अच्छा है.
fly.
बट ये राउंड तो स्मूथ जीतेगी शायद. हाँ
What's really set them on
लिक्विड
that
ये राउंड
path,
स्मूथ
but it
जीत गई.
really begins here in
हाँ उनका भी
Bangkok.
मैप पिक भी
Pistol
उनका है.
out the win.
जीतने तो चाहिए अच्छे.
Already at the beginning, I'm reminded of what Chichu was talking about in the press conference. The Chichu Nats
अच्छा तो जीतने चाहिए.
romance.
देखते हैं.
People are loving it. People are loving it. But what I got from the press conference was that Chichu was saying because he's such a fan of Nats, he's been watching all of the Team Liquid games.
हर्ष भाई हम कब ऐसा खेल
How their
पाएंगे?
playstyle has shifted,
को नो
I've
आइडिया.
watched all of their footage, and I think
पर
Phoenix
फाइनल्स तो
playstyle linked to
हाँ
Krte
सेन
is
विन. हाँ
different.
बट
I think
सेन
it's
तो
accurate.
सेन का वो
Fighting
पहले वाला
their
ऑरा
defense
नहीं आ रहा है
side.
इस बार
I
यार.
think EDG need to
पहले
focus
वाला जो
on
ऑरा था
slowing
ना,
the tempo
जो
back
स्टैसी और
as the
टंग
exact
वगैरह थे, वो
opposite
ऑरा
of
नहीं
what
आ रहा है.
Chichu said.
नरेट नो डाउट बहुत बढ़िया खेल रहा है. नरेट
Instantly up ramps and
नरेट जब केसी में था तब भी बहुत बढ़िया खेल रहा है.
Some semblance of an idea, but
सेन जीत जाए तो बढ़िया है यार.
should early off the
DRX भी जीते और G2 तो भाई इस बार खतरनाक है.
grouped up now, obviously. By the buy for them, walls up. Camo a bit of
अरे मनोज भाई वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. ठीक है मनोज भाई चुप.
though. Gets the info.
हाँ वो हाँ ठीक है चल प्रीमियर खेलेंगे इस बार. प्रीमियर खेलेंगे.
He turned, but no.
ट्राई तो करना पड़ेगा.
Winds up. It's going to be Prowler to supplement it, peeking out wide, but he's still going to play his life. And so, giving up the side.
हाँ जोरो भाई आ गए जोरो.
For EDG,
Spike planted.
we'll find out what they can do past this point.
मनोज
Here,
भाई
cheeky
बात
angle
करने
for
को मना
Kangkang.
किया. मैं चुप.
Tucked up close and personal. Let's try and set up that as well, but the horn just reveals as well. Not quite anything to break it. Satchel, lay it down. Studs right behind them. That's an attempt by EDG just to try and bail out one of their star players. It's going to be an inevitable round of that. Team Liquid up to 2.
क्लीन यार.
Now we get to see whether Team Liquid have got a new bonus round idea. They ran a very similar pistol.
ए मनोज भाव तुमको क्या लगता है कौन जीतेगा लिक्विड या
They got a
एडीजी
different bonus round idea. Kiko is only 2 away from getting his showstopper online. He's been able to get tons of kills early on. 4 of those, pick up some ultors, diffuses, that kind of stuff.
एडीजी चलो एडीजी फॉर द
Last
विन
defense
गाइस
bonus round that Team Liquid ran was an explosion out through B main. This time, it does look like a different setup. But with the propensity of Team Liquid to fight aggro on defense in rounds like this, I think EDG need to be cautious. Even if the threat
जमकिन का हाथ
exists,
खुल
you
जाए
see
बस
the 4 stacking
वो
outside
हाथ खुल गया ना उसका तो
they are not
छोड़ेगा
going
नहीं
to
किसी
allow
को
the same plan to hit.
Being overwhelmed though. Oh my god, barely getting a handle onto the horns. There's a pull, the supplement, and this guy is being chased now. Chomping at the bit to try and get a piece of him, and meanwhile, Kangkang's cracking open the opposite side of the psych. Nico does isolate a fight with Chichu going down, but still Kangkang will not be stopped. It's relentless here in the opposing section of the map. He gets that plant down, cracks open the site for them.
If Kamo had just played that a little slower instead of trying to go in through the smoke, Team Liquid would not have been in a bad spot. But now, player disadvantage, weaponry disadvantage, tough to convert a position like this. They're just looking to do damage to EDG. Having said that, Kiko just got the ult online.
Yeah, and that's also a critical kill of that. It's going to be catching mid-lurk, and already you can see it, the ult, the threat of it, already pushing out and pulling out some of that util. Kangkang tucked up top rafters, nobody swinging for this guy, and it's all dealt with. 2
क्लीन
surviving.
यार नॉट
And
द
that's an enormous round from Kangkang. He really
बोनस
makes that
जीती
work for EDG.
ये तो ये
He
मैप
didn't get
विन
zero
होगा
towards the
उनका
B
नहीं
side,
बोनस
takes
नहीं
down the
जीत पाई
side
यार
breaker, that Astra. And also, let's dial it back. Let's talk about prep. EDG got completely caught by the same pistol round, but they were ready for the bonus round idea. 4 players waiting outside B main. They just weren't ready for the fact it was happening on the opposite side. The A push. And it's Kangkang that comes out with the goods, as he's so often gonna do.
Despite
हाँ
having only 2
क्लोज
players
जा रहा है
surviving,
राउंड
EDG
क्लोज जा रहा
pull
है
out the showstopper in that round. It's not a bad one for them. We are already in to the following round, round 4 here. Guns across the board. Just a bit of the action. There was that conditioning with the salvos, a bit of fault line into B main from what I could see. Just to get EDG into position.
Yeah, and that makes it does make it more difficult for Team Liquid to fight over this B area. And their comp is actually not very good when they're forced to play passive positions as they are currently. Liquid are going to want to try to take time. They're going to want to try to push through smokes, contact in. It's EDG's job to control the pace of this game and then allow their overwhelming utility to come through good on the executes.
Deep Prowler used on the other section of A. Team Liquid just trying to clean up the unknowns across the map. There's only 1 player left to stand here. Kamek is going to be tested into this spot and position. He's got some help from on high. People are going to be joining him, and what a beautiful shot that is. Easily dismisses it, but EDG are not to be trifled with. They're going to be running them down onto the site, and just walking straight into the sidelines. Nats makes a decent go of it. That is
1v2
Need
क्या
more than
possible
that
है
at this point.
अरे नहीं
EDG playing like this. Nobody a 4-piece to finish off the
नोबडी ने
fourth
बहुत
round.
बढ़िया मारा है
And that shows you that even when
एडीजी भी लाइक
Kangkang
तुम
is
हमारे
going to
एक
take
मारोगे
down
हम
some of
तुम्हारे
these
4
entries,
मारेंगे
EDG have that second wave follow-up. It was this flash push through. Breach util from Simon. Empowering Smoggy and Nobody to get into the B side. They didn't need Kangkang to make the space. They still were keeping util in reserve. Great shots hit, and Team Liquid now, after a successful pistol, that's all they've written so far. Back down on an eco.
Seen a pause and a timer could mean one of 2 things.
Yeah, I mean...
Someone spilled a drink,
I'd
or
prefer
tech
a tactical pause, and I do
Yeah.
think that this would be a reasonable time for Team Liquid to take one. But who knows?
Yeah, it'll be 2 gun rounds.
Oh,
Well,
Technical
listen,
pause.
Can't always be
A
lucky.
dagger to the heart.
इतने बड़े
Yeah.
स्टेज में जाके भी टेक्निकल पॉज होता है भाई
It looks beautiful.
क्या हुआ
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Baron warning signs. We'll see. I'm going to take a gander over the stage. Who do I have to blame about this one? But
I think it is really interesting that Kangkang has gone for the jet on this map. The fact that he's working with an unconventional pick, I suppose.
कांकाक ने हाथ में क्या लगाया गाइस
People running arrays on this map.
मेरे को अभी तक समझ में नहीं है उससे कुछ एम बॉट वगैरह आता है
I
क्या
think one of the reasons for this too is going to be that on the defense side he's able to play those off angles, dash out of position. And here you can see his follow-up on the entry from Nobody and Simon's util is still really solid. He doesn't necessarily need the boom bot to be able to trade off of. it's time for the teams to collect their thoughts.
हर्ष भाई वो हाथ में क्या लगाया है तुमको पता है क्या?
EDG just ran straight into what Liquid were cooking. But
Listen, yeah, a
since
team
then, it's been good.
as tenured as EDG, you know, sometimes it can be a bit nervy. Lena.
I mean, if you want to talk about nervy, if we're talking about inexperience versus experience, this is another game that typifies that completely. We've seen Paditech, obviously, on the big stage. There was a sub most recently, getting his chance here to avenge Team Heretics for that champion's loss. And we've also seen Nats, of course, at the big
EDG की
stage.
फैंस ज़्यादा है.
You're looking for anybody to be crumbling under the pressure.
मेरा गला खराब हो गया यार थोड़ा. कर 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 कर.
Players. Somebody like Kiko is
हमारे इंडिया से कब जाएंगे गाइस? हमारे इंडिया से टीम्स कब जाएंगे? अब हम देखेंगे इंडिया के टीम्स इतने बड़े स्टेज में गए हैं.
He's been otherworldly, and yet last year when he was playing Duelist, you barely got a hint of this kind of potential. So they saw something. They did a fantastic job of swapping him over to Smokes, but even here on Duelist, he's been electric. Those are the kind of players that I'm looking at. Can you keep it up when the pressure's on?
Yeah. We'll be getting into games shortly as well. Just had to do a quick little remake of the round. Not rolling anything back as well. Just want to keep you all in the loop. I can see the timer ticking down at that, so we will be getting into the action momentarily. I didn't like anybody.
And we're back in. Lovely. Good stuff. A lot of ults starting to get up here. Kiko obviously decided to invest his a little earlier on to see if he could secure the bonus round. But now we're starting to get up to everybody else's cycle. So looking towards nobody, looking towards Camo as well, to potentially be a bit of a playmaker.
Time to take risks if you are Team Liquid.
I think the entire defense, they've got to take risks.
Yeah.
This composition is not comfortable playing slow rounds at the start. And one of the big reasons for that, as Camo goes to try to take a risk,
मारा रे
is
nobody ने
Camo's
मारा.
gate crash. It's got a 30-second expiry
अभी
date
उनका
on it.
इको है.
And once that's dissipated, you don't have the ability to reinforce the other side. So you want to try to get things going in the first 30 seconds, force EDG to make fast reactions rather than slow the pace down.
EDG can't quite find the options they were looking for, I guess, into mid, but with nobody picking off towards A, that's where they're setting their sights at the 50 seconds mark. It's important that you don't end up running the clock against yourselves.
And they have historically struggled on anti-ecos, but I don't see the resistance here.
No. Just one player's paddy with a shorty in hand. I mean, we've seen some ridiculous stuff with this gun, but don't think in this scenario it's going to be paying off too much, unless... No, not quite.
Shorty versus Outlaw.
Unless... I mean, Kang, does he expect it? Wait a second! How the hell is he getting away with that? He might as well the skin of his teeth.
This might have all distracted for Nats coming around on the flank, you know. No Sentinel.
एक 4 HP
Pushes
एक
like this, they've got to be watched.
4
Smoggy's
HP एक
device.
बंदा 33 HP एक बंदा.
Rest of all of this.
इसको पता है, स्मॉगी को पता है, स्मॉगी को पता है.
All avenues accounted for, apart from Kiko's actually done, what's that, 140 as well
Yeah,
on top of that?
145 as
Oh
well.
my god.
हम्म.
Yeah, Smoggy's dropped down.
दो बंदे बहुत हुए
Damage
हैं.
definitely being done, but the time is ticking. Chances to win the round, to win the league still. This is sharp
Shot.
by Kiko, man. Doesn't matter, it's the eco, he's doing damage
Shot.
and more. Him and Kamek side by side. The rifle picked up, but we're going to keep it into the next. EDG.
एंटी रेट टीम लोग.
Keep to it
अच्छा खेला
at
बब.
least.
It's good
Eco
signs for
round
Liquid
बहुत
that
अच्छे खेले.
somebody like Kiko, who has been instrumental to them getting here in the first place, is still performing. I mean, he is hitting shots. He's looking super sharp here. Wanted desperately to make it at Masters Bangkok. For his own personal reasons to do so as well. His family, I believe on his mother's side is Thai, so he's been here quite a lot in the past. So he's obviously going to want to perform when it comes to an event like this too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's also half Canadian. Maybe he's going to pop off for Masters Toronto too.
We'll see. Camo's got the op though in the hands, and he's got plenty of targets to choose from, especially when no one deals with that bloody eye on high. TP's
Close
back,
range
crash,
पे op.
safer position. Can't quite dodge the flash in time. Ramp control going to be gained here for EDG, but the issue is what you do after that point.
Somebody's got to be in charge of breaking that haunt. Can't be allowing that. Paditech almost always plays A at the start of these rounds. It has to be something that EDG are aware of. Of course, you don't know where Camo is at this point. He could have easily teleported away and be set up on a different part of the map.
Yeah, it's a trouble. Dealing with the Euro. Pesky.
EDG actually have a free path all the way through mid if they wanted to go there.
Chooses to take it. Double drop down into vents.
But it's not easy to hit B. You've lost B main control. Nats and Kamek are going to hold on to that till the ends of the earth.
Yeah, this is really quite struggling, I think, isn't it? Team Liquid primed and ready, I think, to dissuade and push back any sort of attempt onto the B site. And EDG, oh dear. I'm seeing Melons, man. This is a time issue potentially occurring.
30 seconds left.
Made a bit of noise in cutting it just at the 30 seconds mark.
And they baited Kiko into B heaven, so now this A site is a little weaker.
Paddy that's going to be tested, challenged. A shot missed, going wide. Camo does have the dimensional drift. That's going to give him all the information he can work with, but Paddy cannot really help. He's not much longer, but his wall still starts.
Short.
It's that. Trade inside, kick off to the side. Plenty more targets where that came from. Simon has to stick that plant down so they get that
2v4.
extension, but it's a 2v4 at that. In through the corner,
Shot.
Kiko is taking names and ripping off heads at this point. Too much to overcome for Kang Kang.
Anti.
It's 3 in a round, man. Kiko is just on one. He's already earned himself up to another showstopper.
He looks spectacular. How was the Haunt not getting broken at the start there? It felt like with nobody
Seconds left.
dying at the beginning of the round, they were lacking.
पैट्रिक ने तो शॉट तो मारा यार स्टन में रहते हुए.
They won't be worried about it next time. They have the roll of thunder. Simon got that off his death. Or got it right as he died, I should say. Now you're worried about the operator, you're worried about showstopper being used by Kiko, and the fact that Kiko is 11-3 to begin with should send shivers down your spine. I think EDG are approaching this well from a macro point of view. They just tripped up a little bit there in round 6.
Time to jump.
Plenty of ults built up in the war chest though for EDG if they want to make a go at things over towards
Find you.
B at least. See that the Haunt is dealt with. They're taking it slow to begin with.
A fake teleport over towards B main. Should make Kamek a little scared that they've taken this control, but still pretty bold. Getting decent info for the rest of the team.
Troll gives up. Oh my!
Shot.
Cheeky with a peek, but it's a head ripped clean off, and here's that showstopper.
Here come the
Burnt up.
power. कोई नहीं है भाई पीछे चले गए नहीं.
Out!
What?
Is that?
कैसे भाई कैसे?
Stuff from Kong Kong. Pulling that one out. It's our opening game, man. You got to hold some of it.
Mara.
But still, Nats tucked up. Ratty position at that, but he's traded nevertheless.
पोजीशन अच्छा
Fight
था.
really kicks off straight through mid. There's going to be another kill found with Kamek. Can't quite find it. Camo off to the side as well.
Shot,
Straight
Camo.
shot. Slightest of angles to work with, and Simon
1v2.
is left alone. Back against the wall. 2 targets to deal with. Knows the rough positioning. Heads on a bloody swivel.
Nice Patrick.
And not enough to dismiss Paddy. Not from that high ground.
Whoa!
Camo ने
Crazy
अच्छा
input
मारा
from
यार.
Camo in this round with the operator. The fact that EDG are trying to play slowly, and then Team Liquid have gone, all right, we're going to adjust, we're going to add the op into the equation, and suddenly it's so much more difficult. Yeah, we've got to see the replay of this.
शॉट मारा क्या मारा है
Filthy
क्या
shots.
मारा इसने.
The fact they don't win the round after that is actually a disaster.
I don't even want to talk about the round they just lost, bro. I want to talk about that show a little bit more. Oh my goodness.
EDG have just called a timeout.
Nice. Nice. The way I just died, crazy.
So
I feel
legit.
that. I feel
So
that.
legit. That is one of the most disgusting flick one-taps I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to go in many people's frag movies because they lost the round. And the reason they lost the round, I think, is so much to do
Time
with
out,
the
guys.
positioning. He got that op kill right at the start of the round over towards A from Chishu, and then he's in B in an anchor position by the time they actually commit to the B split. That's really good. And EDG are doing all the right things, trying to get into positions, even countering the showstopper. But they're not really being able to navigate this on.
No, I'm finding it difficult. Because it's exactly the thing you don't want to be going up against if you're playing slow. Trying to bait out somebody, the aggro plays on Team Liquid's defensive side of split. The more you run the time down, the more you try and contact into it. You just leave gaps open. Like you said, I mean, Camo's all over the map. He's everywhere at once. When you're on a Euro, you get that luxury. Be fluid with your placement. EDG can think they've spotted him out in his position, but he can be on the other side of it in a blink of an eye.
Look at him here, for example. I mean, they've actually swapped the operator around, so Kiko's got it up here.
And this is a lot of presence. I mean, emphasis being placed by EDG up towards ramp, but that spam. Again, instinct at its core. Forced to really dash away from the fray.
Kamek clearing over towards B. This has got to end A.
Take it in that direction here.
थोड़ा टाइमिंग इशू हो गया नहीं तो लग जाता शॉट
Passage into the side as well. Even plant that is possible for Heaven here, but Team Liquid looking to try and take this one and potentially with the flood. That's a flash around the corner. Kankang drop.
ये कुछ भी मारता है यार
1 HP at that, but potentially all he needs.
They know where the danger player is. They just don't have utility to be able to flush him out properly.
Players crowd onto the side. EDG, they win out that critical fight though, out towards elbow.
ये राउंड जीत गए यार EDG जीत गई यार
Try and fight their way past. Time is ticking here. This operator in the hands of Kiko is really slowing them down to a degree as well. And now you're seeing it. The peak's coming out. Smoggy tries to take that fight, but surely the openings are done and dusted. Kiko just trying to save this operator, trying to keep it into the next. It's a round one. The goal is damage for Team Liquid.
And I'd say they achieved their goal there. Everybody on EDG
score
up to 4 each. But EDG's economy is going to be in a bit of a rough spot. They're definitely primed to get ecoed again here. They're going to have enough to be able to buy for this one. But if Team Liquid with a big strategy, admittedly,
technical was it
they've got time to think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Take a look at how this one went down, though. Paddy, does he spot something? Just a glimmer, perhaps, but often people are going to be going for that kind of spam lineup based off the wall timing as well. So as Chishu puts up the wall, you spam that kind of angle, really likely to be able to get damage, if not a kill out of that spot. But yeah, this time, swapping the operator over to Kiko's hands did not get the job done.
भाई फिर से क्या हुआ
The retake, I agree with you.
भाई कितना technical pause
Because the stage wasn't initially lit up in an ominous shade of red that we might have just escaped. It was going to be a quick and easy fix, but maybe not.
Alas.
So. Take pause gear.
Alas,
Take
here we
guesses
are.
of that.
किसके
Yeah.
Pray that they're not a
किसका gear खराब हुआ
Maybe it's because Kiko's on the gear.
किसने फिर से माउस तोड़ दिया पिछली बार जैसे माउस तोड़ दिया था
Playing like he is.
It's a mouse issue, I've heard. So
ना mouse issue
digging. Next time the camera does a flyby onto the stage.
And this is a crucial round that's coming up as well. You hate to have this kind of pause in momentum, but actually for both teams, it's not like it affects Team Liquid more than EDG or the other way around. EDG need to win this one. Their economy is at risk, so is Team Liquid's.
Yeah, I mean, Team Liquid, did they even want sounds weird, did they even want to buy into it?
Yeah, I'm not
Their
sure.
money's odd, it's all over the place.
Yeah, they don't have very good money.
You could put together a buy, but
is it worth it to try to damage EDG's economy further? They'll be thinking about that, but they're not allowed to communicate during a tech pause, so those are the thoughts going through the players' heads in this kind of situation and how to go for the adjustments. It's going to be interesting as we move on to the later maps as well to see whether the off time that EDG has had has meant that they retool their comps for every map.
yeah.
We saw them run, they literally ran more Neon than Tejo in kickoff, which I think is bonkers.
ये वाला tier let's go noob लिखा है क्या
The region was going crazy with the Tejo. Almost every team that got here was going hard with the Tejo.
But it's a symptom, I think, of the fact that they played their games earlier, right? You got to think.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of time to prep, like we said. I mean, potential double-edged sword. Do you want the momentum coming into the event? Do you want the extra prep time where you can trip up some of your opponents who might be prepping? Because honestly, a large portion of Team Liquid's game plan when they were in that finals versus Vitality came down to some very individual reads and tailoring their game plans around it, especially on Split, especially on Haven. They do like to counter-strat, changing one or two major elements to the way that they play.
It's so difficult to answer the Chinese teams at this event. I think
गेम बंद हो गया बेचारे का
It was at the beginning of the kickoff.
कोई ना हमारे साथ भी होता है यार
so even if you did look at that game, it doesn't matter. You
हमारे
can see
साथ
from
भी
the
होता है
POV, we're watching Kang have a couple of issues with what's going on. He's the one that's suffering from mouse issues, but you wouldn't believe it looking at the flick on the Kiko earlier.
Maybe the hospital flick. Transfer the
Yeah.
pain
Hospital
out.
Did he
flick.
break the mouse?
gripped it too
Destroy
hard.
it? I don't know. I don't know what he's done over there. I mean, we're framing it as if it's his fault, but I heavily doubt that it is. You can see him examining the
और
mouse.
यूज करो चाइनीज प्रोडक्ट्स
Pick it to pieces.
खराब तो नहीं है
Disassemble and reassemble the mouse.
Okay. Well, we've changed out the peripherals at this point. It's all about just rebooting, getting Kang back into the fight. There's a lot of Chinese fans here. Listen, they were loud as well with the intros coming out.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people are loving the Chishu Nats bromance
Oh,
going on
yeah.
as well. It's
Absolutely.
Just the fact that you have...
अच्छा माउस का बैटरी खत्म हो गया क्या
I mean, Chishu is so phenomenally talented, has won champs something that his idol Nats has not been able to accomplish, but it's still.
Thank you very much, Saisho and Bren. I hope you guys are happy that Pansy is in the building. I can confirm I have seen her, and yeah, that is the only reason why we're here. But we spoke a little bit about how the rookies on the team, on the side of Team Liquid, are going to be able to perform on the international stage. And Mimi, for Kiko, it doesn't even feel like this is his first time.
Yeah, I mean, for context on this guy, he's never been in a global event before. He has the pressure of, you know, family being, he's half Thai. He's the only person with any real relation to Thailand here, and has obviously the fans behind him, but no pressure at all. He's absolutely fragging just these first few rounds on the stage.
Yeah, before we even went here, I saw him in makeup, and I was like, hey, are you like nervous for today? He was like, no, I wouldn't say I'm nervous. I'm just excited. Like, I wanted to start, and definitely that is something that we saw on the game as well. I think that also the camo with the Yoru and the operator is having a lot of impact in the game.
Well, the issue has been resolved. We can get back into game. Over to you, Bren and Saisho.
Thank you very much.
Let's go, Liquid.
Honestly, they haven't had a bit of a run.
Zakan Magot.
For us, and it wasn't even that long of a tech pause.
Now, we're about to launch into the next round here, assuming that everything has been solved. So just to bring you back up to speed, the score's 4-4, you can already see that. But it's a tense economical situation.
Sure.
EDG, if they lose the round, are going to get their economy broken, and Team Liquid have actually opted to go for a half buy. They could have tried to salvage some kind of force together here, but it's only Nats who's decided to force a rifle full armor. So Team Liquid's job is to try to do as much damage as possible to the EDG economy, keep it honest. And they're going for that fight over towards mid, same as their pistol round setup.
There's that trade. I mean,
Sure.
Team Liquid, the discipline has been
Dono ne
honed
अच्छे साथ
and
मारा.
refined over the course of their running kickoff. Not the same team for the opening games.
Haditek's going walkabouts over here as well. Chishu's super disciplined, holding a really, really passive spot. I think Chishu could even walk forwards a little here because you know that early round they were fighting mid.
This is the Team Liquid classic, isn't it?
Mara.
Mentality, try and group up and take these fights together with them. Still, it's that equivalent exchange when it comes to it, and Nats is just taking off
Nice.
heads.
मार दिया
This
रे.
was the forced rifle that Nats
Yeah.
went for.
2v3.
Down to only 100 credits, had to make something happen with it, and now they've got themselves into an advantage spot.
Exactly.
2 rifles versus 2 rifles, and Patty's there just holding down A.
It trips up even the best of teams.
The timings that Team Liquid take and how proactive they are on the defense, you can see that EDG are set up to try to handle it.
A call made by Team Liquid as well to give up map control, so making sure that they hold really far back. I mean, the battle line's being drawn all the way.
I'm not sure about this one. Chishu to get into position where they can
तबीयत
run
बहुत
a
बुरा
bit.
है यार.
That is going to be tough.
गला बैठ गया इनका.
Will he spot the head? Silhouette's waiting. It's a fight taken out through spawn, and across their placement is
Chatan.
immaculate. I mean, that's a round where
ये
I
तो
mean,
उनका
they're barely
इको था ना,
invested.
इको
Team
जीत गया
Liquid,
यार.
they steal it away.
Couldn't find a better round there, Team Liquid. They've completely crushed EDG's economy. That's going to be a heartbreaker. EDG have just come off the back of a technical timeout. They're like, all right, this is our chance to get the momentum back into the game. We've got ourselves an anti-eco, and once more these EDG anti-ecos trip them up. Even in their successful run at Champions, they were losing a lot of these. They have to do better if they want to be able to close out halves like this.
Who's on the other foot for EDG? They do have the knives to work with, though. Sometimes going to be happy with that. See if he can make it go over towards heaven. That's going to be Salvo's fault line. Everything going to be committed. Nats, you're in the danger zone, son. Plenty of targets, but he's going to be swarmed and overcome still. Bit of help maybe occurring. Paddy Tech is quick with it. Reinforcements have arrived.
पैट्रिक भाई क्या
All their way down, man.
अच्छा मारा यार, बहुत बढ़िया मारा.
And it's chill, it's cool, it's easy if you're Team Liquid at this point. You're running away with a half.
खतरनाक स्टेट ट्रांसफर था.
There's only a
ये तो
couple
कुछ भी था नेट भाई.
chill there.
आराम
Look
से
at
नेट
this
भाई.
situation as well. Kiko holding such a passive spot just with the shorty. Counters Kang, the star player with Bladestorm in hand.
हाथ
2 rounds
कैसे
left
उसको
in the
शेक
half.
कर
And
रहे
like you
थे.
said, Team Liquid, they are poised to run away with things here. They're getting so close to big ultimates.
Beautiful, good job.
EDG holding outside B main, looking for an early round push. That isn't going to come. They caught Kamek every once in a while over here towards B, and he is in a really aggressive spot. He's got a recall star to try to get out.
hard reliance on his team to hold on to be heaven control, but EDG are grouped up, looking for a fight. Wait a second, they spotted it, just a shoulder. Oh my.
He goes back into the same...
There's no way. Steps forwards. Wants to take the fight straight to them. What a challenge from
दो मारे,
Krte.
दो लेके
There's two
गया.
taken away, EDG. But a bite from the round.
गया.
Removed just as easily as that.
3v2.
Spike dropped down. At their feet, EDG
Doable है.
left
EDG
reeling.
के लिए doable है. 3v2.
Another situation where Chichu could possibly get a pit down and maybe win things. He's going to pit at the same time as Smoggy plants. If there was anybody close, maybe that would be dangerous, but EDG have gotten away with it. Now can they win?
TP disengaged, backs himself away. The pit does allow Team Liquid options. At least get themselves into a site and position for the retake. Still difficult in itself to deal with. Crowd committed. Pawns alongside it. Sees. Dump in the util. Now it comes down to stray spam. Kill's going to be found as well with a highlight to Chichu takes back fate. Takes back control of the round. Side by side, him and Smoggy. Could have got dicey.
They had to find the right timings there, and Paddy was doing what he could to try to flush out and get them info inside the pit. But that is a desperately needed round. They had two
The
very
start तो
similar
अच्छा किया था
situations.
उन्होंने. Team Liquid ने
Chichu's pit was
start
able to
अच्छा
come
किया
out
था.
with at
Finishing
least
नहीं
one of
पाया.
them. Considering how important some of these rounds have been that went the way of Liquid, a 6-6 half here I think is a win for EDG. Even though you would normally expect Team Liquid's attack side to be better than their defense with this comp.
क्लच करने के बाद भी उनके भी हाथ कांपते. आप तुम्हारे हाथ कांपते क्या गाइस? थोड़ा एक दो क्लच कर दिया तो हाथ कांपते क्या?
Meanwhile, mid take by EDG. Bit of util to salvos. Quick dash by Kong Kong. It's going to be granted that space. Paddy's got a hell of a task. Got to be careful in this spot. Almost a sixth sense, I think, for the danger zone there, because he's already pushed his way back. EDG looking for a bit of a play.
Kiko has ult.
To be heaven, and his that ult comes into effect.
फिर से मारेगा क्या?
Saying Fuse is going to be burning down just to cinders, and he's forced to just pre-aim it off into the corner. EDG,
No
an
worry,
opening
मारते
Paddy
Patrick
falls,
भाई
still
को.
that's an aid, it rebounds. Brings down nobody, straight to his knees. Mad dash now on a scramble up towards the A site. Potentially, they're calling for a bit of a pause here. 45 seconds left.
They can go for a pause, and Kankan might even realize that B Heaven is open.
Camo! He's right there, ready and waiting, and a dimensional drift as well to escape if he chooses to use it. He's going to be able to get that information. 35 seconds.
They're going B,
Where
but
are you
Kamek's
going?
there! Kamek's there!
Straight into mid, he might be able to find this one. It's an easy target, potentially yet. That's a spike on down into mid. Meanwhile, Chichu up through the guns, trying to find it up through heaven. This is chaos, this is anarchy. But EDG, they thrive in it. They were molded in it.
They know that Kamek's here.
And Kamek has got a lot to do as the playmaker. No! Down to the 1v1.
थोड़े से चूक गया यार.
It's EDG up to 6, they bring it even.
That is a ridiculously chaotic way to end the attack half from EDG. Kankan became the lurker there, finding space in B Heaven. Kamek had pushed out all the way through B main. But now we're going into Team Liquid's favored half. I think they're still in a good position to win.
Yeah, we'll find out, won't we, on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere. Coming up.
At it with your old phone. We've got you. At Verizon, trade in any old phone for iPhone 16 Pro on us, on any plan. And get iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all three on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon. Red Bull gives you wings.
Estoy en la mía, ando suelto hasta el otro día. Hoy es martes y yo no sabía. 2 mujeres y las 2 son mías. Ando en
here, our opening map of Bangkok. Team Liquid versus EDG. It's split as the staging ground, and Joshi was suspecting and thinking that maybe this is where Team Liquid are going to really shine.
Yeah, I think their composition is favored here. They've got the double duelist set up for their attack side. They love doing a bunch of contacting stuff, which is good against the Breach Taeho comps anyway. Expect them to actually be running fairly slow attack sides here. They love doing a bit of 1-3-1 defaulting, but they can increase the tempo anytime they have Raze ult, anytime they have Yoru ult in particular. And Nats was running some outrageously good fakes last time we watched him play on Split. This is a different pistol setup for them, making it feel like they're putting pressure over towards mid.
Poison's off.
It's a nice orb lineup that we've seen from teams before, designed to cut off information from the defenders, and Team Liquid are hoping that it pulls people into mid.
Exploration though going on by EDG. They push all the way out through B main, and now with that util being used, got a bit of a feel for the round here. You know, it's going to be landing over towards A. It's all going to be expended just to try and keep Team Liquid out of it, but an open sight given up and granted. EDG going to be happy with heavy control. Let's see how good their retake is.
Team Liquid don't have any util to go
We
for
retake
post-plant aggression
देखते
here,
हैं
but they have
ये
to.
retake कैसे
That's why
करती
you
है
get caught in sewers.
Yeah, they're going for the deep fight out towards screens with Simon falling. It's a critical
कामों ने मारा यार
kill at that.
मैच
Nats
में
as
मारा
well.
जेमकिन
Get
को
away with murder. Still alive,
3v5
but surely should be falling. And yes, nobody hunts him down. It's precision at its core.
The fight in heaven.
The big wraparound, yeah, and this is where it's really important. Damage being done.
Oh.
The multitudes of players
Mogi-
still
oh.
surviving into the tail end of things here, but it's a 2v2.
पर उनका HP कम है यार
But not planted for them.
बोला
That is a
HP
wall.
कम है
Diva shot
भाई
Camo with the wraparound, but now he's given up his position. Chichu half already. He's earned himself the outs. And shots are rattled, fired off. Camo TPing away. Chichu, he's sticking this one. Is down to the margins.
Pros never fake हो गया भाई Pros never fake
Sunset with that. It's a pistol round into the second half for EDG.
So beautifully played there from Chishu. The shots he hit, the first half stick as well, realizing that Team Liquid weren't going to fully commit to getting him off it. And then, as soon as he hears the teleport away,
जितना चाहिए था यार Liquid को
reads Camo like a book. That is an amazing round to come out there from Chishu to get EDG into things
इधर
again.
हक दिए लोग
I think they need everything they're going to get here on defense. Oh my god.
Certainly are. We're right back into it. Kong ordered that outlaw. Make it look like operator even at the best of times. Here it is. The attempt to try and push past
Chichu ने
that.
खत्म कर दिया दोनों को
Will be punished.
So much decay damage going on there.
Chichu doesn't look like he suspects that there's that camo stuck to the side, but
भाई पीछे कहाँ देख रहे हो
whatsoever. The lurk up anticipated, so clean, flawless.
खत्म
Many ways to describe it.
It looks easy for EDG in this round, but that's because Chishu was able to kill two instantly. Once we start to get rifles up, and if the spam doesn't instantly kill,
अरे इसको कॉल नहीं दिया क्या कामों को कॉल नहीं दिया उसने रेज ने
still find a lot of value.
तो
I
पीछे
think
क्यों
we
देख रहा था
haven't yet seen EDG come up with a decent answer against this.
अभी देखते अभी बाय राउंड है
Said that, that's not choosing to throw it this round by the look of things. He's going for the orb over towards ramp, looking to apply pressure on the A side of the map instead. And my eyes are on Kankan because he looks like he wants to take a fight.
There's potential for him to, oh my goodness, this is a deep push. He's not messing around.
There's also a potential fight over here over towards A.
Nats, always in danger. That's going to be drone spotted.
Mara ye.
Was held primed just for
Not
that.
Mara.
They're going to pounce.
Is there a reaction from Team Liquid?
Maybe towards mid still. Kang. He's
Yeah,
locked down the
Team Mara.
avenue. B main taken away. Team Liquid. They're going to be scrambling for options here.
One of the reasons that I think Jet is a great pick for Kankan is because he can get the operator online more often, play on more conventional op angles for the Jet, and that's just so good against Team Liquid's contacty attack style.
Info gathered. Smoggy's willing to give them up a little bit of that space up towards A heaven. Some control from EDG. Out from spawn. Chichu. Get away. That Bulldog in hand because they know that they're putting the squeeze onto these Team Liquid players. The emphasis is going to be placed onto them.
It's also uncomfortable though for Nobody and Smoggy to play on A. They've got no control anywhere
30
and no
seconds left.
reinforcements.
Here's a challenge occurring out towards it. Now getting a bit of a run on and a bit of a move on. Nade at that. Rebounding towards
Mara
the
एक
back. Kiko finds it. Bulldog in hand. Nobody.
last
Kado Camo up towards heaven. Snappy. Snappy. Kiko will attempt to make do with what he's given into the round, but it's absolute shreds. It's
सब कुछ
scrapped
छोड़
with
दिया
9
उससे
seconds left, and you are
नहीं होगा
tiptoeing around the side, son. To
नहीं
bonus
जीतना
round
चाहिए था
converted here
इसको
for EDG.
इनका
Lights
मैप
out so
पे
far
है
in this
ऐसे
half.
हारेंगे तो कैसे चलेगा
Yeah, they're looking so good. I mean, their game plan is working perfectly against Liquid. We know that Chishu has been watching the games, and listen, I'm sure a lot of the other players and coaches have as well in terms of prep here for Bangkok. But we didn't see as much of it in the first half. We definitely saw them play that slow control style, but it wasn't always coming up with the goods. Here, I mean, instantly in the bonus round, you're seeing the value. They found Nats, hunt him, get the pick, and then have the operator or the outlaw in this
पहला
situation
टाइम आउट
ready to collect over towards B main as well. At some point, maybe Liquid will figure out that EDG are actually
लिक्विड ने लिया
they're not worried about.
नहीं सॉरी दूसरा एडीजी में एक बार लिया था सॉरी माय
If they
बैड
wanted, they could play really passive with Kamik and Nats and just be wandering around through mid, through vents, through B heaven.
See if they explore that as well on their half by round, because that's what they're going to be coming into on the backside of this timeout. Obviously, whatever they're calling in the adjustments, use this as time to cement an idea into your head, find out where the setup is exactly. EDG are also going to be playing mind games of their own, to be honest, as well, because I'm looking at the bank that's been built up by them. They are flushed with cash, and there's always a threat of the operator at the back of your mind, but they're not going for it.
There absolutely is. I think the more that they threaten the op,
इधर थोड़ा ग्राफिक्स चेंज किया है गाइस ये पहले ये सब नहीं आता था
Team Liquid to run these slow pace rounds. And they can't really increase the tempo until they have an ult to be able to work with. They can try, but it's not going to be as effective as if they have Dimensional Drift or the Showstopper. And those are still a round at least away.
Run to it once more. This is the beginning of fast B take through main. No pushback, it's an orb given up.
Just looking to get closer to those two ultimates I was talking about on Camo and Kiko. Camo already gets it for the next rifle round.
तीन मिड में है भाई जाएंगे तो सारे मरेंगे
Danger here, both teams to be honest.
This looks like an adjustment for EDG, thinking that Team Liquid will recognize that mid is empty. They choose to fight it here. That means that they have to give up somewhere else, and you can see the Camo's working along with Nats and has got a lot of space over here on A.
Going wandering.
Not a normal pathing either.
Guns out for
Shot
It's a little bit
Camo.
too late for that.
Shot
Beautiful
पे
shot. Takes him out.
Kamik's got to survive here.
Shot.
Boy.
Okay, but now the spike. How is the spike going to cross?
That's what I mean. They've got to try and create openings here. Chichu can definitely suffocate them out of the side. They want to try and get themselves in.
Ooh,
Drops
मारा
it
यार
down.
ठीक है
Sees avoided.
बढ़िया
Narrowly
मारा
at that. Still Nats.
Ooh,
Pretty
Nats
okay. I mean, the
मारा
snake bite. That's the job.
30 seconds left.
Chichu into that uncomfortable
2v3
position.
This is going to be another eco round win for Liquid.
25 seconds left though. They do have to get a move on.
यार
EDG
पहले
just
मत
struggled
बोलो
so
इतना
much in
कुछ
these kind of situations.
कास्टर्स
Plan down.
Look at the positions. It's so difficult to retake this. You have no idea where Kiko is. Camo at any point can go and get info with his ult.
Too much to clear, but Simon and nobody. Well, util. All how you use it. Sending out the salvos. Push players into unfortunate scenarios and positions potentially there with the aftershock in hand.
Shot.
Flash up and away. It's all dodged in
भाई
time.
thrifty मार दिया
Too
इन्होंने
clean and a thrifty.
The MasterCard's Thrifty once more coming through for Team Liquid. EDG.
अच्छा मारा अच्छा ही को
There is a
रंग
decent chance that we look back on this map. And rounds like this are the reason that EDG couldn't close it out. The gap is only 2 here. They're not in a comfortable lead. They can't be allowing Liquid avenues back into the game in spots like this. They took a gamble though. They took a gamble that Team Liquid would be fighting mid, and it didn't pay off. And it was a beautiful lurk in through A. Kang Kang now goes for the operator.
Still big options remaining for Team Liquid. Dimensional Drift was earned up just from prior. And Kang holds his nerve.
That's not Durka.
The trigger finger, yet still
क्या
slams the
मारा
shot.
भाई
You're right, it's not Durka, no fakes occurring just yet, but we'll have to respect it with a Dimensional Drift. The hands of Camo clears his way. The site is paved to that plant.
प्लांट तो हो जाएगा
Himself to that
अभी
now. He's one
रीटेक
step closer
क्या
to the
करता है
showstopper.
गोल
If he gets himself a kill, retake is going to be Incredibly difficult. Camo going walkabouts up towards stairs. You just don't expect it, but these awkward timings is where Team Liquid thrive. EDG gonna try and pick up the pieces now and forge something better out of the round into the middle of it, but there's smokes in their face up towards heaven, and Camo still causing all sorts of difficulty. He hears it, the rumble, the footsteps.
भाई क्या मारा
My God, man!
कामों ने बहुत
He's
बढ़िया
ripped to
मारा
pieces, and Kang, knives in hands. You have to do more than slice and dice. You need a bloody miracle. But maybe he's the man for the job. Could potentially do it. Time ticking though, getting away from him, and Camo knows it. Play to the win cons, doesn't even give him the fair fight. And doesn't even
कामों
let
ने
him
मारा
save
यार
the
कामों ने
operator.
पूरा राउंड निकाला ये बड़ा
Kang's a miracle worker, but that was one step too far. Team Liquid, what a beautiful piece of post-plant aggression there. Working a 4v5 round. And Camo, they knew that he was in heaven, but because he's playing Yoru, they thought he'd reposition. And that's kind of just passive value that you're getting from running a Yoru in your composition. Camo's somewhere in B heaven, he gets a pick, and they don't fully clear through stairs heaven, and then he ends up getting another 2 on the backstab. 2 rounds in a row now have just tossed this away from being in EDG's control.
बहुत लिया फिर भी इनके पास भाई जंकन के पास
We could buy EDG, so they're going to take risks. And okay, Chichu
Shot, Chichu.
beacon, orb up, doesn't choose to evacuate. Wants to press the advantage potentially. Looks like he wanted to try and maybe go forwards now. It's backs away now, and it's all
मेरे पे एक पूरा क्लियर है यार
by Team Liquid, slow and steady. The game plan and has been
पूरा खाली है
almost their entire run in kickoff.
Yeah, and look at what they've done again. They found the same lurk timing here, where they get 2 players instead of going and following the Viper wall up ramp.
अभी उनको पता चल गया अभी जा रहे हैं
For this match, where they take the lurk into the site, they're recognizing that EDG are not running a hard anchor. There's no, cipher or whatever that's anchoring over here towards elbow.
Yeah.
अरे
Going for this play.
You are divided.
With the plan going down, Cosmic divide in their face.
कई को कहाँ जा रहा है पीछे सामने
He's got to deal a contest with these players up into the flank, and Kiko's just so hard to root out this guy.
अरे कई को जल्दी आ कई को
Towards main as well. He's going to be that backup policy with the ultimate in the back of his hand.
कई को के लिए मरेंगे
Facing towards him, Kang up and around, and still flicking, but Kiko, man, what is that? An explosive opening. Kang with 3 down to that 1v1, and still again the time's going to be ticking and potentially getting away from him. He needs to find a player. But Kamek, man, he's a thief in the night. Can't get a handle on him.
Another one of those situations that looks so winnable for EDG, and yet Team Liquid come through in the clutch. In both of those spots, though, Liquid have had the advantage in the 1v1. It hasn't been clean. I mean, previous round, it was a 3v1 situation for Liquid, too. Kiko played this situation masterfully. Such a passive spot. Liquid's back in with the showstopper, crushing this retake attempt. But now EDG have rifles in hand. Now we'll see what they're capable of doing. And they need to hold out against an A push that's currently coming through.
Team Liquid going for their ramp take. Standard stuff, if they've been watching the boards, into the corner, that's going to be a clone. And still Satchel plays, straight into the fray, Kang, and Kor.
कामों ने मारा यार कामों बहुत बढ़िया खेल रहा है
So easily.
That's an... Oh, here comes the retake, so fast.
Yeah, that's a flash. Go trying to flood attempt in here, so they're trying to plant up for heaven. That's a pit. Lay it down, it makes it a bit more awkward.
What?
Instinctual plays.
अरे
Will not help you there, Nats. The pit falls. It is planted for heaven. But Kamek in a 1v3 to tap, trying to root Kamek out. Smoke covering most of the fire, tapping away, but he needs a rifle spray to just go his way, and it's not going to happen. On round 19,
जीता हुआ round आ रहा है यार
narrowly take the lead.
2 amazing adjustments there from EDG. One, they realized that Team Liquid were doing that lurk through the Viper wall into A. So they run 2 people hard anchoring the A site. Now, that's a good adjustment, but it doesn't work. They still lose the A site to this teleport from Camo, but the other adjustment was going for a fast retake. Instead of allowing Team Liquid to get set up for aggressive post-plant ideas, get the retake going immediately. They barely allowed the plant to go down.
The pace increase, sometimes it's what you need.
The money hasn't been stable this entire match for either team, by the way. Liquid are back down to another eco.
It's top it right down. Oh my god, Camo's just been spotted. Pinged out. Salmon away. Salmon's got to be careful of this particular spot here. I mean, it was called out by his teammate, yet still Camo gets the kill. How was he handling this? How was he doing this?
चीचू मारेगा
This is so damn
चीचू मारेगा बोला ना चीचू मारेगा
Chichu, man. Caution to the wind at this point. Both of these teams are taking chunks out of each other.
It's going to be so difficult for Team Liquid to get this spike back. They don't have, you know, an ult for Camo, for example, that would make this much more doable.
Go and walk in. Camo's found Kang.
It's the contact plays. Camo just finds the right timing and wins the duel whenever he walks into someone.
It's added just so many absurdities in the rounds. Nobody finding Camo up onto the ropes, but decapitated. 9-11.
And finally, EDG able to come out with the win in an anti-eco.
भाई चीचू ने तो मारा यार पीछे उससे ये भी
certainly had chances for Team Liquid to throw as another thrifty. They're hunting for Nats now over towards the A lurk too.
ये प्ले के लिए हार गया
attack time out here. They want to adjust something. Because even though the gap is still really small.
Big thing that Team Liquid are struggling with right now is that tempo increase.
Liquid का last time out.
Trucking bodies at them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the faster retake kind of style and the decision to brawl wherever you find Team Liquid, wherever you first take.
यार मैं अभी एक ही मैप कवर करूँगा क्योंकि मेरी तबीयत सही नहीं है.
They're not sitting passive. They're not sitting back.
इसके बाद मैं जाऊँगा अगर रात को तबीयत सही रही तो मैं फिर से स्ट्रीम करूँगा. बुरा मत मानना.
He's going over the B main, which is broadly speaking where he's been playing the op in this game.
Team Liquid going to be forced in passive positions at least at the beginning of these rounds.
Yeah, I think because they're worried about a set play coming out from the Armageddon. They think that there's going to be some kind of big crunch with the Armageddon from nobody.
Yeah, fault line. Shteo, nightmare to deal with. Similar take. Kang was ready for the jump spot last time. We'll see if he can do it once more. Star recalled, players spotted, but that dash is going to be fading. There's no way you're committing. Flash connects. Is the barrel poking out? Will he be betrayed by it? What kind of targets is he working with here? TP into the back of the side. My god, this is all over the place. What is going on? What is going on, man? Kanga's not ready for it whatsoever. I mean, Camo was on an island.
Oh, Camo also didn't realize that the operator was pushed up that close until he took the shot. It was a prowler that left everything out there. Nats hunted, taken down. They've been good at removing this A-lurk, but the retake can't come through as quickly as in previous rounds. So now another opportunity for Kiko to go walkabouts in the post plant.
Yeah, okay. The time has been ticking as well. This plant was down. Rapid at that. Kiko was a fault line missing. Still Simon's there with a trade. Crouched up in place.
Kaiko रे बाबा Kaiko Patrick भाई मारा. Nice Camo.
Just absolutely.
Camo बढ़िया खेल रहा है यार.
Dropping these EDG players, dismissing them, scattering them to the wind.
And just as we've been seeing this whole half so far, the adjustment that EDG made of fighting early angles and then getting fast retakes, if they'd been able to do that this round, maybe they would have had more of a chance. But this ended up regressing. They couldn't get the value out of Kang's operator. And they were also slower to deal with Nats, so they weren't there on the retake.
Oh, babe. Sorry.
Have you had enough of these anti-eco rounds? Because here comes another. The economy is broken here for EDG.
The same game plan.
They're pitting off the rip
into B when you don't have weaponry
at the very beginning of the round.
It's interesting.
That is a heavy investment instead of using it in round 23 or round 24 to try the closeout.
Hoping that they push Team Liquid through mid towards A, where a lot of the bodies are stacked up from EDG.
But the weaponry is terrible.
Yeah. Haunt, fake TP.
There's a massive trap here.
Oh boy. There's tension in the air here. Kang, what an adjustment!
No mouse problems now.
Nope. Swiftly deals with that one. Fault line's gonna be Howard. Simon, your body's sticking out, man. Oh my goodness, almost punished for it. There's plays to be made. Team Liquid are gonna be fast onto this one here, but that's gonna be rolling. Evacuation salvo at that, but Camo. And kills occurring all over the bloody place.
That's a crazy play from
Camo
Camo.
बहुत बढ़िया मार.
He's left it down to nobody. With
No
no hope
doubt.
in hell. Camo teleported forwards through the breach ultimate and got a triple kill, delivering disaster to EDG, who committed multiple ultimates to this round. Goodbye Viper Spin, goodbye
ultimate.
Rolling Thunder. And you're about to be going into a rifle round. I mean, what is the decision there?
Nightmare scenario for EDG. As you said, you're going into the rifle round, you don't have the ults to work with. 11 to 11.
And it's not just that EDG used them here. It's that Liquid now have the Euro ult to increase the tempo, Showstopper to be able to push back.
ये लेके
EDG,
4 बार आ
multiple
गए
push
Euro
by
पर.
aggressive kills. The game has now flipped again to the point where Team Liquid have a big advantage. They've got, look at this triple kill. Camo's been playing like a beast here on Split. The two duelist players for Liquid have 47 kills between them.
26 and 14, 21 and 17.
That's monstrous. And considering how well somebody like Kang Kang has been playing on the other side of things, it's difficult to match.
Yeah.
Last time out. EDG का भी.
Lot ass to this guy onto his shoulders.
I don't know what EDG can even be discussing in this tactical timeout, to be honest with you. What kind of game plan can you construct that is going to be effective against the fact that Liquid can just run at you this round and you can't stop them? Camo is literally going to be indestructible with his ultimate, and then the next wave through is going to have a torpedo.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It's tough, man. This comp is going to be rapid without their attack side.
I think EDG, if they wanted a game plan for this round, would be Operator on one side of the map and triple or quad push through mid. So at least you have flank retakes going on.
Wondering if...
The problem with that, though, is that Team Liquid have been so aggressive in the post. So even if you flank against them, they're going to be pushing out a different area of the map.
That's such an annoying team to play against, I think, as well. Those expected timings where you think, okay, I have free reign here, I can run a bit knife out. Team Liquid have a player in your face. All in though over towards A. No lurk wall in sight. Kind of spells it out openly. EDG, they're going to try and take this one, but Kang forced to reveal his hand. On top of that with a dash. Push back and away.
Camo looked like he wanted to go aggressive there, but he has to go back.
Plant
spike
over.
first.
On sight. Covered in Camo. Trying to make a go of things. This is going to be a showstopper. Committed. Just spotted that player out. Chichu. No more. Be a playmaker into the round. Not for much longer here. There's chaos occurring at the same time. Kamik is on the other side of the bloody map. Armageddon trying to get a move on.
मत
Kills to be occurring. I mean, that's just a peek through, and Kang just, he can't hit the shot.
There's no way.
Kamik's from behind.
Oh, the
Time's gonna be
awareness.
ticking, yeah, he's got that awareness because these guys are just rats in the walls at this point. Liquid, they're everywhere. Diffuse occurring. Smoggy's got a smoke.
अरे हो रहा भाई
Oh
भाई क्या कर रहे हो भाई तुम लोग चूती हो सॉरी गांड हो क्या
They were in complete control of that round. They had layers on layers. And somehow still a Red Bull clutch for EDG. The awareness is remarkable from Kang Kang. And I thought when they killed Simon, maybe they think that's the diffuser.
One enemy remaining.
But the fact that the pull
misses.
I mean, how has that happened? Kamik looked like he was going to close the round.
Stolen the round away, and it puts EDG up to 12.
अभी ये लोग frustrated हो
They
जाएंगे
still got a terrible buy, by the way. Bulldog, Spectre, EDG are working with scraps.
Yeah, I mean, money does not come into the equation, I think. The amount of thrifties we're seeing, at least from Team Liquid side of things, but EDG are working with scraps, looking to get it done. They want to try and prevent this one from going to OT.
Cutting through.
Once more, Camo has been cheeky with his TP plays. This one, it's going to be spotted potentially. There's no way, Smoggy. There's no way. Flashed up, revealed. TP to evacuate. Camo straight in there on top of it. A bit of spam might just not go amiss here. I mean, nobody's trying to play up close and personal. Cuts it up onto the angle.
Can he get one in this spot?
Smoggy hard committed, but running wide and dropping down. Chichu's lucky to get away with even that. It's an open side for Team Liquid. Cracked it open wide. Chichu and Kang Kang have got to do it all.
कर तो सकते बट चीजों का हेल्थ नहीं है.
Still available. Kang not even choosing to proc it. This guy walking out, but he's missed the
मरा.
Oh no way!
मरा.
Missed the corner.
भाई फिर भी इतना टाइम कौन लगाता है
He's
यार.
only on 8 health, man. What can you do in this spot? And he doesn't want to wear any of these
खत्म.
players are.
ओवरटाइम
Wow,
ओटी गया.
Inevitable.
The manner in which we got here, though, unbelievable. Economy finally stabilizes for both teams as they're granted the loan of 5,000 to begin in OT. But this was so back and forth the entire time. There was no moment where a team was stable. That's a ridiculous kill from nobody to open things up. But Liquid, on the round where they have the massive ult advantage, they somehow fumble it. And then
ये देख कितना हगा है पैट्रिक भाई.
had to go for a B pop.
इतना क्यों हग रहे पैट्रिक भाई.
Fundamentally, Team Liquid are just playing so damn good. Players in position to trade themselves out, but as you mentioned, the money not going to be a factor at this point.
This is the same pistol round setup that we saw from Team Liquid. They did run it with rifles at one point in the half.
Sorry, पैथिक नाम गलत पड़ा. पैथिक.
If it does come over towards A, play B, full retake.
Thrown off the guard onto the A side. Kang attack side.
चैंपियन के हाथ में ऑपरेटर. ऊपर इतना मरा.
Avoided a prowler, but still hits the flick. There's a trade in sight though as Paddy turns the favor.
Paddy.
So sneaky from that.
Put his way right into there, still into the site. These players are going to try and push this one back. EDG
Look at him looking for the
corrals
lurk.
into the corner. Yeah.
Team Liquid are so heavy looking for the lurk.
So convinced, I think, that it's even occurring as well. But EDG's post plan is not the best. No players playing towards main or even off site. You've got to try and carve out path to success here and now. Out to the side and wide as Chichu picks up that two-piece once more. And Smoggy for the reposition. Kills flooding in.
जीत गया यार.
Up
EDG
to
ये मैच.
13. A one-round difference and match point again for EDG. Not that it's been doing these teams much good.
But this might be where we see the experience difference between these two squads. I think we just heard, right before this round went live, there's a segment from the Team Liquid comms where they were saying we should have won this game already. And I think it's reasonable for both teams to think that, because there's been wild plays, thrifties on either side.
इसमें तो दो निकाल दिए.
Who sees who first? Can Camo's TP not get spotted?
But this guy, Shishu, also came up huge there in the post plan.
We're not going to be slowing down. Round 26 here.
Kang's got the operator, but he's swapped it around. So instead of holding B main, he's now over towards ramp, looking for Nats. And EDG going for a rare fight towards mid. Although now they give it up.
Snake bite layer down, but
Smoggy's
this is all
in.
just avoided. It's not angled by Smoggy.
He dodged the Prowler. What an immense play.
It's created an opening. It's all about making sure that you can not bleed away too many more players at this point here. The salvos are good, but there's a pocket to play in. Nobody not aware of that fact. Still, Horn a little bit too deep. Smoggy still alive, still kicking. Spam is the name of the game. Shadowtech just trying to draw attention, I think, to the heavy plays to load their way up themselves. Talk contact plays here from Liquid. That's the name of the game. That's the philosophy. Got them this far.
नहीं जीतना पड़ेगा यार. Liquid.
Might just drag them. Another section of OT. See though, 4 versus 4, and it's all calm until
Liquid
it's
का
not.
जीतना पड़ेगा.
Players
अरे भाई
once
देखो.
more down and towards hell, but up on towards heaven, and the trade in sight.
2v1.
Kills exchanged. Spike is dropped down into
भाई
nowhere.
ऊपर है.
The spike on top of rafters.
Up onto heaven, and Kang there's a prime opportunity.
Kiko's
बोलो ना
too good
जीतना
for it.
पड़ेगा.
Shuts it down before it began. And what a call there from Nats to have his whole team contact not just up to the point where you would execute, but they literally walked into rafters on B. Even after they got this pick onto Smoggy, look at them walking fully out here. Kamek taking all of the space, making it really uncomfortable for EDG to know the timings. They kept their composure.
They really did. Padatek, the one-man army as well. All that pressure he's applying, just spamming through the smokes.
Yeah, they do mix up Padatek a lot. So sometimes he's going to be completely alone, throwing out all of his
Play,
fake
yeah.
util. And sometimes he's going to be
Clear
heavily
timer.
with the two duelists. What we saw from Team Liquid in their game against Vitality to finish out EMEA was a couple of rounds sprinkled in where Nats ran some beautiful fakes. We haven't seen any of that so far in this game. He hasn't run a big elaborate fake. If you wanted a round to pull it out, it would be the one after this, surely. They're going to start on defense, but if there's a moment to try to subvert all of the conditioning and expectations of the regulation, it's here, when tension's at its max. Round 27 of Split. What a banger opening to Bangkok.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Couldn't have asked for a better opening map between these two teams. It's been messy at times, don't get me wrong, but honestly, Team Liquid thriving finding those openings.
EDG holding super heavy around B main. They know from watching the VODs that this is an area that Team Liquid can fight very hard over. So this stun might not go through right off the rib, might be based off contact, but the point is control.
Holds it back. No signs of life from Team Liquid there, but when are you ever going to get that with the amount of their contacting around the map?
B with Team Liquid setup is played pretty much full retake. This is the first time where we've seen EDG find this opening.
Right past the pull, flash in through the back as a nade from Heaven is going to be preventing the walkout, and Nico, he's right in there, yep. Flood attempt, caught for Team Liquid. They sense it, they smell it, there's blood in the water, and as these players line up, the damage is done, and more, nobody makes a good go of it. Two brought down, but eventually he will fall. This is Liquid now with the lead.
That is disgusting. I thought EDG they would be able to get the side
कामो खेल रहा है यार
nobody home. Yeah, Team Liquid make the bold decision to just jump out into sight. Flashes, double duelists, getting through the smokes, entry in on the retake, flooded in through Heaven. A beautiful round to put Team Liquid one away from winning on their map pick.
कितने बड़े स्पिन्स लगाए भाई.
That tension in the air here. Just getting started with Bangkok, but
ये लोग टाइम आउट लेंगे लास्ट.
I could be wrong, but I think this is the first map point that Liquid have had as well. I think EDG so got to 12-11 until it was tied up.
Yeah.
So this is, like I'm saying, this is Nat's opportunity right here, man. EDG are taking a timeout. They're trying to figure out what to do on their defense side. You could hit them with a crazy play. We know he's capable of it. In fact, when I was listening to the press conference, Tech was even saying that he thinks Chishu is on track to become the greatest IGL. Now that is unbelievably high praise and a scalding hot take, I think, as well. But judging from what they've done in their run in EMEA, some of the stuff you're now seeing them do, at least early days here.
करता भी है खेलता भी देखो टॉप फ्रैग कर रहे हैं.
Maybe there's a chance.
चीजों भाई टॉप फ्रैग कर रहे हैं.
Camo's dropped 30, by the way, as Kang hasn't quite been able to keep up with either of the duelists now over on Liquid.
Their fears betrayed them.
These team's going to have to dig deep, I think. The Liquid, it's to pull it over the, not quite finish line, but at least get them over the hurdle of that first map.
They're making it feel a little similar to their previous B-leaning default, Liquid, with a Prowler, and Chishu's going hunting for Tech.
Walking around here, oh my.
अरे वो दिखाओ चीचू मरे कि नहीं. अरे भाई क्या पैटी.
Yeah, he just walked through the smoke.
भाई पैटी भाई बहुत गंदो. What?
What's that? Here he is. Time to show up and try to shut them up.
2v4. खत्म है ये राउंड. ये राउंड EDG.
There might be more where that came from, but the counter spam goes both ways, son.
ये राउंड EDG. भाई 3 बंदे फुल HP है.
Head spotted.
इनके नेट्स एकदम लो HP. एक गोली लगेगा ये सीधा कर दो.
2 versus 3. Limited in terms of chances, but you never know. Flash forwards, Kiko still lurking, contacting another flash as well. A peek forwards, almost with a reset of the aim.
बोला ना EDG का राउंड ये.
Is their guiding light in that round?
Chishu and Kang will not allow it. 14-14 again, and Chishu gets up to 30 himself. He's just talking about the fact that Kang hadn't quite kept up. I mean, look at this play.
इधर ये मार देता मैं चीचू को. इधर से आ सकता था.
He'll throw a Prowler in mid and then walk up really deep, tuck behind the box. We've seen him do it a lot in EMEA. And Chishu, he's been watching. He's seen these games before. Kang is going to pull out an attack side operator to try to push them onto another map point. And they're doing a slow crawl up to A.
Spotting the corner, they know that Paddy plays perched up onto Heaven. It's a beautiful one at that. Pretty blocked by the drone, but I don't think they're going to be too worried about it. It's open access. An easy access at that. Nats, what is his timing? You're seeking to take. It's a flash.
Gee, bhai.
Attempt to play, but EDG are one step ahead. Players to the game plan. Kiko not slowing down though. Kamek out wide onto heaven once more. He's looking for bodies. He's hoping that EDG will just open themselves up. Kiko sailing sky high. Brought down like a clay pitcher. It's EDG now on to match the least map point.
It feels like we've played almost a full match here, doesn't it?
I know.
Round 30. Another opportunity for EDG. I think the read here is remarkably good for them. Ever since they took that time out and got an opportunity to talk to the coaches, EDG have been making really nice reads and hitting really good shots. Kangkang's going to pull out the operator again. He's been opping towards B main in every one of these rounds apart from one. And he goes over here once more.
कैमो भाई बढ़िया खेल के कुछ नहीं कर पाया कैमो बहुत बढ़िया खेल
This is super weird.
Holding, lucky to be alive. As damage done through the wall, but Chichu
को
dropped down into
मारा
mid.
Nobody! Was that spam?
That is spam or something, I'm not too sure.
Is that because Nats didn't commit his wall?
And that's a spike drop down into the laps of these EDG players. This is it, surely.
खत्म
To fumble from this point, but Team Liquid will look to dig deep. And again, back to old reliable, walking around, casual jaunts around the map, contact plays, creeping and crawling.
Simon's watching.
And Simon says, you might not pass this one. As a horn up into his face, and still Kiko, he just deals with it. Takes that guy out. Kankan with the operator will have to just back himself away. I don't know what his players are.
Doable है
Kamek, no way. Kamek,
हाँ doable है doable है
What is going on?
We're never getting to map 2. Never mind the rest of the matches here at Masters.
It doesn't stop.
We missed some really crucial fights, and I don't blame the observers. What is going... I mean, why? I don't know. We're into really deep territory in this game. Nats must have thought, if I don't commit the wall, they won't think about the A flank. So he ends up going down and delivers nobody 2. And then 2 answered back in almost the same spot from Kamek. Flips the tables. Happy about that.
Nats and the noobs they got out
even. And you can tell the teams are trying wild stuff at this point. They're just throwing at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Exactly. The playbook ripped up.
I mean, I don't think that Nats has ever run that strat before, where he just doesn't put down the A wall. That's the kind of audible on the fly stuff. And EDG, they turn the pace down.
Taste of their own medicine here for Team Liquid. Run up through mid, a bit of presence shown for that one here. Team Liquid have given up a lot of space over towards the map.
Gate crash being thrown from Camo. This one's his second. Did not land where he wanted it to. That's not going to allow him the safety.
Full mid control. Holding to contest A ramp as well when that wall goes up, so there's a lot of unknowns for Team Liquid right now.
They had a hard read that this was going to be B. They stacked 3 players on B for the defense, and they also had Camo's gate crash over there at the start. And honestly, the read is good. I mean, look at it.
Players in position. But a sour end to the round here for EDG. That's a dash active, and that's going to be the go button. Signaled. Kankan moves forward, steps forward. Kiko dropped, and this guy has been a thorn into their sights, and that's taken care of. At this point, we've seen some miracle rounds from Team Liquid, but I think it's a hard ass for Camo and Paditech. Still going to make a go of it. You have to at the end of the day. Paddy.
One enemy remains.
His way around though, but that's a bullet to the side of the head. He's dropped dead. Chichu.
जल्दी खत्म करो
Up to 16 for EDG.
At some point here, if EDG have this many map points, they've got to convert on one of them. The entry from Smoggy is great. And even though Team Liquid had people stacked here, had the right read, they didn't, I think, expect that lurk to be coming through, or not lurk, but the other side of the pinch. You know, from Team Liquid's perspective, I think they thought that was a B pop, and they weren't ready for the people up in B heaven. Kangkang is going to go for an operator. He changed his mind there with only 3 seconds left in the round.
This is all over the place.
They want to brawl in mid and close things out.
Prowler. Be broken. Rifle spam.
They're hoping. Team Liquid are hoping that EDG walk down mid right now. Off the A ramp pressure.
Moving up towards ramp though. Kangkang. Hold up. Plays in his face and a shorty at that. My God, Camo just turned him into mincemeat down towards the fence and a peek out wide. Chichu, if you got a little bit more, maybe, potentially. Can't quite get the first.
भाई
What you
भाई
say? Nats
2v2 साइमन लो है
slices and cuts him up, and Simon, there was damage done. Weak as anything, Swift Breeze will bring him down, but a bullet does the job nevertheless. This is
बहुत
down
क्लोज जा रहा है
to
यार
Team Liquid.
हर्ष भाई बहुत क्लोज जा
Not to
रहा
be
है मैच
denied to drag it out just that bit much further.
So difficult for nobody. He has utterly no idea where these Team Liquid players are. They could be in
हाँ
any
मनोज
part
भाई
of the map right now,
ईडी
apart from where he's
जीतने वाली
recently cleared.
देखते
Could
यार
he find
बहुत
a
क्लोज तो जा रहा है यार
possible
पता नहीं
timing
क्या
maybe
कुछ
if
क्या
he
होता है
continued through vents, but it's looking unlikely now. Nobody was an absolute
मेरा
star
गला
for
बैठ गया यार
EDG
सॉरी
grand
इसलिए
finals of China.
मैं कुछ कर
He
नहीं
took
सकता
that game
इसलिए
and
मैं
he
कल
decided
स्ट्रीम
to
नहीं
win
किया
it for them. If he could pull out a 1v2 here to
30
take
seconds
split,
left.
at this point it looks like it's going to take an enormous play, a miracle from one of the teams to put the other to bed. And it's Kamikanat's job to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know Pearl's an unfavorable map for both teams, but
क्या नोबडी मार सकता है
at this point,
They
बताओ भाई
decided not to give the plant to Nats there, who would have had Pit.
I think Dan goes to show, I think, that getting a bit flustered.
Well, at the same time, you don't want to get timinged by nobody. The chances of nobody winning a 1v2 in this spot, it arguably might even go up if there's a Pit.
Gives him ins and possibilities to get himself into the fight. That's bullets rattled and away. Back behind screens, and nobody does need a miracle at this point. Stunned, rattled and away, one kill found. Needs that second one, but he's really just going to be guessing. Nats holds it down, out towards elbow, 16-16. Neither team wants to give this up.
उनका मैप पे क्या भाई इतना ज्यादा लंबा नहीं जाना चाहिए था
Ridiculous beginning to this round as well. A really nice macro idea called from Nats, and Camo flies into the face of Kong to take him down at the beginning of the round. At some point here, Kong might start giving up on the operator, because while it's theoretically really good idea against what Team Liquid are doing, it's kind of making him less able to carry and win the rounds, I would say. Whereas maybe he might just be able to go walkabouts as
ज़्यादा पुश नहीं कर रहे
Camo are doing.
लोग ज़्यादा पुश नहीं कर रहे
Pushing Chichu back.
गाइस
So respect this one, and look at that TP all the way back over towards B.
This is the way that Team Liquid love their early rounds to go. A little piece of aggression and try to force you into the stack. Here, there's a 4-player stack on B if EDG try to react. But they're not taking the bait.
Flash forwards on the drone, clears his way into vents. Kong, no intention though of holding and taking that space. It's just the threat of it. But Team Liquid are giving this one up anyway.
Remember, last time, even despite Team Liquid having a stack on B, EDG came up with the goods because they forgot about B Heaven. Nats was so focused on the pop coming out through B main, they didn't think of Heaven. And Kong is that lurker that could backstab.
This is going to get messy.
What an entry!
My
ये तो यार
Really somehow
बहुत
finds that
गंदा
one. This is going to be it. Salvo's in the fault line. Cuts it up. Dissects the site. Chances and opportunities
जमकिन
for
को
Nats is still alive.
जमकिन को उड़ाना
Already
पड़ेगा
face,
बस
how much longer will you be kicking? They can't remove this guy. It's a thorn in their side and more. It's buying time and space for his team to get back in. Util expended out through the smokes. The
खत्म
feed is filled in red, and we
बोला था
missed all
जमकिन
of
को
it.
उधर से उड़ाना
No
पड़ेगा
shade to the observers, man. This is a mess.
पहले जो मरा
It's
ना
the
वो
same strategy, roughly speaking, though. Called again from nobody. It's
मरना
working
नहीं चाहिए था वो
beautifully.
उधर से
It's a disguised B split. You make it feel like everybody's popping through B lane, and you send somebody on the backstab, or send 2 people up through mid. This time it was
इधर
Kong coming through
इसको
heaven
कमाई
that
को नहीं
sealed the
मरना
round
चाहिए था
up. But all of the brawling that happened on site, nobody coming alive. Chishu, he's been phenomenal for them. 35 kills, now the kill leader. And we're in with EDG at another map point.
Love to break some records for our opening game.
I mean, how many have they had at this point? I've lost track.
Ridiculous, man. It's just
20 के ऊपर जाएगा क्या
into the face of Kang. Push back.
एक मैच में 2
Respect the
मैच हो
Chichu
जाएंगे
sees, that connects into the corner. Needs some help. Needs some bailout. Camo. Instant with the trade. Chichu lucky just to get the
no
one.
3v3
Squeeze now onto him. Kang's hot on the heels, and he does. eat it
3v2
up. Camo not long for
खत्म
the
है
world, not long
खत्म है
for
खत्म है
Rowdy.
EG for the win EDG for the win
The impetus just spotting. There is the
EDG
red.
for the win
Simon
खत्म
whips it around, and it leaves it all down to Kang.
That kill there has got to be the death blow. Simon having the
खत्म
awareness to swing round and take down the star of Team Liquid. He doesn't even get the plant coming.
boy.
He misses another 4 seconds. And
खत्म है ये
the ambush is going to start to close in here. He has got to come up with a miracle.
Anchor smoke opted in for. Just try and push them back. 1 star left remaining, and he needs to isolate these fights, have more, but EDG are not going to give him those openings. There's discipline at its core, paranoia flushing him out wide. He's lucky that he didn't fall in the first time. Kang finally puts an end to it. Puts him to rest and puts the map under their belt. Split goes their way with an 18-16 finish.
Couldn't ask from an audience's perspective.
कामों ने बढ़िया मारा
the
यार.
game that opened. Team Liquid fought them as much as they possibly could, but EDG have got a blinded beginning to this one.
They absolutely do. I think we all need a rest after that one. It's going to be a
तो चलो गाइस, अभी के लिए बस इतना ही. मेरे को तबीयत थोड़ा ख़राब चल रहा है, इसीलिए मैं पूरा गेम नहीं मैं कर पाया. ट्राई करूँगा बाद में ज़्यादा करने की. तो अभी के लिए बस इतना ही. रात को अगर अच्छा तबीयत हुआ तो रात को भी स्ट्रीम करते हैं, रात को भी मज़े करते हैं, रात को थोड़े वैलोरेंट खेलते हैं. आज थोड़ा ये खेलेंगे, आज क्या बोलते हैं, हाँ आज थोड़ा ह्यूमन फॉल फ्लैट अगर हुआ तो ट्राई करेंगे अपन. देखते हैं, दोस्त लोग भी बोल रहे थे आज ह्यूमन फॉल फ्लैट खेलते. ठीक है, चलो गाइस, बाय बाय, सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम. अच्छे से रहो, स्वस्थ रहो, स्टे गुड, स्टे हेल्दी मैन. बाय बाय.